Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you've been watching my other videos, you already know that I am working on all kinds of electric battery operated power sport equipment, including kids power sport and scooters, mobility scooters, and all other battery operated products. I also work occasionally on my personal vehicles, especially German-made vehicles, so if you like to watch my other videos, please click on the playlist and watch my other diagnostic videos. Now on today's video I have a 2024 equad Q. This is a 48 volt system, and basically it is same as a previous model's equad Q, except this one is a 1200 watt motor and a 1200 watt controller, which is much powerful than the previous model ATV that was that was made before 2024, and it was only 1000 watt. Now if you received the brand new ATV and you put it together, but the ATV is not powering on, so there's two ways how you can start your ATV to power it on: with the manual key, and then the display is supposed to come on, and you can also start it with the remote fob by pushing this lightning button twice. But if you're doing this with the key and with the fob and the display still not on, most likely that you have a loose plug or unplugged battery pack plug, which is right here, supposed to be male to female, and they're supposed to click. Then you wiggle it if it's not loose. Now this is supposed to help you to power on your scooter. If it's still no power, then the next step, check this little fuse holder box. What's the condition of the fuse? In my case, I removed that fuse purposely so I can show you the actual symptoms why it's not powering on. Here's the fuse, and it is a 30 amp fuse. Look if it's not burnt, melted, if it's straight, because if the pin is actually bent like this, you will not be able to install it properly. Now during the installation into this fuse holder box, you will see a little spark close to your fingers, and the alarm is going to make chirping noise. That means that the power is getting from the battery to the ATV. So to avoid that spark, I rather recommend you to unplug battery pack. Now to install fuse into the dedicated spot, and only then plug in this male and female plug. And now there is this sound is a confirmation that your ATV is supplied with power. Now I can start it with the manual key, or I can start it by pressing this lightning button twice. Now my ATV is on. Some people get confused when they have a brand new ATV or even used one. They don't realize that that it could be a simple problem as a loose connection or blown fuse or loose fuse. So they automatically think that there is a problem with the ATV, because if that plug is unplugged or if this fuse is loose, then you will be powering on your ATV with the charger, and you will see power, but as soon as you unplug it, power is on, because the source of power coming from the charger only, but nothing from the battery pack. So if you have a same symptom that your ATV is powered on with the charger only, but as soon as you unplug it, the power is gone, most likely that you have a either loose connection on this black plug, maybe the wire is loose inside of the connector, or you have a loose fuse, missing fuse. By the way, you've seen a little spark when I've been installing that fuse. It's not dangerous, but for some people it's pretty frustrating. Now let's say that you already checked the plug and you already checked your fuse, but your ATV still not powering on. What to do in this case? Well, the next step or next possible reason can be why it's not powering on would be that your ignition wire plug is loose. So follow this wire, wiggle like this. Well, that's why I cut the plastic zip ties, so I can see exactly where that wire is, which one exactly I am wiggling, pulling. By the end of that wire you will see 3 split plugs. One of them will be plugged with 3 wires. Okay, this one. This plug is responsible only for the throttle twisting a throttle handle, so for the speed only, so it got nothing to do with power. Even if this plug is unplugged, you're still going to see power on the display. So I'm just showing you as an example what's happened when this plug is unplugged. So this has got nothing to do, and this plug is labeled as a throttle. So I'm going to plug it back, but you have 2 more plugs. One of them with a blue and the red stripe and the orange wire on the male side, and the opposite side is going to be brown with yellow wire. So if I'm going to unplug, like watch this, here's the power right now on the display, but if I'm going to unplug this plug, that's going to be labeled as a power switch. Now I got no power, as you can see. So because this particular plug that say power switch, it is responsible for this on-off lock. So now I'm going to plug it in, and my power is back on the display, as you can see. So this would be responsible for this switch only. Now, and you have one more plug also with the 2 wires. That plug is going to be red color. Maybe on your ATV is going to be different color of the plug itself, but that plug also comes with a red and the blue stripe wire and the black, and on that 2 wire plug it says throttle. And on the opposite side is going to be female plug with the green wire and the gray wire. So if this plug is unplugged, you will also lose a display, but this plug is only responsible for the lighting up a display. Your ATV is actually functioning right now. So pay attention. You have 3 plugs. As long as the power switch plug is plugged in, but the other 2-pin plug is unplugged, your ATV is functioning. Even though that you don't see power, but the ATV is fully functioning. Here is a proof of that. The red light is on the back, and as soon as I'm going to touch the foot pedal, because 2024 model comes with a safety foot pedal, that light will disappear. As you can see. Okay, now even though there is no display, it doesn't mean the ATV is not working. So I'm pushing with my foot and twisting handle, and the ATV is moving. So what I'm trying to say, that even though that number 3 plug can be unplugged, it doesn't mean the ATV is not functioning. So number 3 plug is only responsible for lighting up the display. The ATV is on already, ready to go. So as soon as I'm going to plug in this number 3 plug, the the display is going to be back, and you will know. Just 1 second. I'm just holding with my the wire is pretty short, I'm sorry. Now number 3 plug is plugged in and the display is on. So again, number 3 plug is only responsible so that you can see how much battery level you have, nothing else. Well, that would be another reason why your ATV was not powering on. But what if you checked already this plug, and you checked already your fuse, and you already checked all of the plugs and pins, especially if there is no bent pins inside of any of the plugs, because that could be a potential problem if one of those metal pins are bent. Maybe the factory was doing too fast assembly and accidentally bent that pin. Maybe you have a used ATV and you will see some you know, corrosion or water got inside, and that would be the problem why it's not powering on. Anyway, what if you checked all of that and everything looked perfect to you, but the ATV is still not powering on? Well, in this case, you can suspect that you have a loose wire inside of the battery pack. Maybe this red wire, which is attached directly to the battery terminal, or the black wire, the thick one of those 2 wires may be loose. So for this you will need to remove those 4 bolts that hold in this battery pack to the frame. 1, 2, and 2 on the other side. I already removed those nuts, so this video can be shorter, and you will have a 10mm nut, and you will need a hex key, 5mm hex key, to hold it from the top. After you remove those 4 screws or bolts and nuts, you will have ability to lift up this battery pack and slide it from the frame. I'm going to put my camera on a stand so you can see how I'm doing this without removing any plastic footrest, because there is enough room. All you need to do, lift up with 2 hands and tilt it until battery is removed. Now I'm going to disconnect it, and my battery is completely removed. Now what you need to do is take a Phillips screwdriver and open this lid. So after you remove 4 screws, now you can open this lid and inspect all wires. In my case, everything is tight, but in your case, maybe you will have a loose connection somewhere, or maybe one of the wires separated from the contact from this connector. So you will need either to solder it back in place, crimp it, or replace the entire wire in worst case scenario. But usually it's pretty tight, but you never know, because it could be some shipping damage or manufacturer little defect. Now if all of those wires look perfect to you and you don't see anything suspicious, the next and very last, I would suspect that you have a problem with the wire itself. Maybe bad connection inside of the plug, maybe defective fuse holder, because the power is going through this fuse holder, and if something was not made right, then the power will not be going through this plastic case. Then nothing you can do except replacing this complete wire. This is very rare case that this can happen, but it's still possible as a non-powering issue. But this is all blind, suspicious on this wire. Would be much faster if you can take a basic multimeter and test if you have a voltage on each battery individually. This will really speed up the process what's happening with your batteries. I know that I did not have a plan to go that far with involving testing equipment in this particular video, but if after all you've done until this point and your scooter, the ATV is still not powering on, the only way to know if your battery is working or not is to get it tested with a basic multimeter. You can, if you don't have this basic multimeter, you don't have any skills how to test it, you can always remove this battery pack from the ATV, take it with you to your local battery store like Batteries Plus, Interstate Battery, any other dedicated battery shop, and they will test it for you. They will test each individual battery, and they will test if the power is coming out from the plug itself, because realistically that's what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have power of like 52 volts or so coming out from this plug. Like right now I have almost 51. Battery is not fully charged up, well, probably 90-95%, but when it's really healthy in fully charged up, you're gonna see 52-53 volts coming out from this plug. So without having a multimeter, it's really hard to know the status of your batteries and if your wire is in working condition. In very rare cases, you might face a problem with batteries themselves, that they have been fully discharged because maybe the product was sitting, or battery pack was sitting on a shelf for longer than 4 or 5 months without being recharged. So you received completely flat, completely dead batteries that are not producing any voltage at all. So that's why your ATV is not powering on, because they are completely dead. That's why it would be good to verify how many volts you have in each battery. It's supposed to be at least 12 volts, that's a minimum, but when they are fully charged up, you're going to see 13.2 volts. And if you will test each individual batteries, you will know the status, what is the problem. But again, my intention was to show you the basic and let's say most common issue that can happen on a brand new batteries that you received and the ATV is not powering on. Now, and at the last, I just wanted to mention that those batteries must be recharged once a month, even if not in use, because they will self-discharge. Maybe not to the zero, unless they've been sitting for, you know, longer than 5-6 months and it was a cold temperature. That would be the case. So to prevent any damages of the batteries and to maintain the energy in those batteries, you must recharge them once a month, either on the ATV or with that indoor adapter that came with your ATV. I am talking about this adapter that came with your ATV. It can be a different color of the loom or shell, but this is the piece that allow you to recharge your batteries off the frame. Because many people, they don't have a heated garage, and those batteries must be stored during the winter indoors. So you have an option to remove batteries from the frame and plug in this adapter, and then your charger in-house, and get them charged every month without carrying your ATV to the inside of your house or any other places. Alright, so that would be the most common issues why batteries are not producing voltage and why your ATV is not powering on. Now, if your batteries are completely self-discharged, let's say on a brand new ATV, well, you better contact your seller about this issue, and maybe they will ask you some evidence of discharged battery, so you will have to send them a picture how many volts in each battery. That's why basic multimeter or taking those batteries to your local battery store will help you a lot. If you don't have any warranty and you have a used ATV and you forgot to recharge them periodically, like every 4 or 5 weeks, once a month that says here, then you can try to revive your batteries at home instead of buying new batteries right away. And if your batteries are really flat, dead, completely discharged, you can try to revive them with 12-volt battery charger. So you will need something like this. This is my preferred choice because this one has a special repair button that can revive those batteries from the 0 volts all the way up to 12-13 volts if it's possible to revive. So it doesn't mean that it's going to give you a 100% guarantee that it's going to do the job, but in most cases, if you forgot to recharge your batteries periodically, all you need to do have a charger similar to this, or at least a regular 12-volt charger, not more powerful than 5 amps, because each battery is only 12 amp. And you will need to clamp alligator clips on each battery individually. Would be even better if you can remove wires when you recharging them individually. That would be even better, I would say. Other than that, my charger is actually can detect those batteries even with wires clamped on. Some chargers cannot do that. I've seen it. Anyway, but that would be really the case for those people that forgot to recharge batteries periodically on a used ATV. Other than that, brand new battery pack would come fully charged up and should be no problem at all, unless somebody pulled out that wire accidentally and it was not secure, so it got loose or it got disconnected from the connector. Unless there was some kind of shipping damage that you did not know about, and the battery was cracked and leaking or swollen, something like that, and that would explain why your brand new batteries were not producing any power, because it was internal short and they need to be replaced. So you will have to contact your seller, send them some evidence of a problem. On my next video, I'm going to talk about the charging system, why your charger is not switching from green to red. That's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to see red light when you plug into your ATV or directly to your battery pack. So I'll be talking about which component is responsible for that, how to diagnose it, how to replace it, and what's the options. For now, thank you for watching. God bless you. God bless America, Canada, and God bless Ukraine. Bye.